to Nourishing Tomorrow, the Future of Food Systems podcast. I am your host, Prudence Zoe Glorious, and with me is Jean Claude from Pabra. From, Pa- and with me is Jean Claude from Pabra. So, the Pan African Bean Research Alliance, or Pabra, has just won the Africa Food Prize for 2023. This prestigious award recognizes the exceptional leadership in the development of numerous bean varieties that improve farm productivity and profitability while being aware of the increasing demand from consumers. This announcement was made right here yesterday by Honorable Jakaya Kikwete. And over to Jean-Claude to introduce himself and tell us more about what does this mean and how was the journey towards winning first prize. Karibu.
Thank you, Prudence. My name is Rubiogo Jean-Claude. I'm the Global Bean Program Leader at the Alliance of Biodiversity International in SEAT and the Director of PABRA. The Alliance of Biodiversity International in SEAT is one of the CGR group centers. We focus on beans and many other commodities. I'm based in Nairobi. And also, as my colleague said, I'm also the director of the Pan-African Bean Research Alliance, which brings together, which is the winner of this prize, but also it brings together researchers from the bean program of the Alliance, which I lead. Also, the 31 national research institutions, what we call NAS, working on beans across sub-Saharan Africa. They are members of the Alliance of PABRA. Also, the value chain actors, because you see, beans is a commodity which involves seed, input supplies, grain trade, consumers. So these are members of the Pan-African Bean Research Alliance. There are several NGOs which support the community to produce seed, which support the community to increase their productivity, training them, mobilize them. They're also members of PABRA, and as well as also farmers' organizations and several other value chain actors involved, and the government policy makers too. So there are around 650. That's what I represent as the director of PABRA. The one, as I said, PABRA won this prize. How was the journey? That's what you're
How
asking.
was it? Yes.
Wow, has been a long journey. The bean research in Africa, let's say, started around the 80s in the Great Lake region. That is Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, supported by SEAT at that time, by Swiss Development Corporation, Agence for Cooperation. And then it grew from these three countries until 1996, when we had the three networks who decided to come together. Network Bean Research Network. That was the Great Lake region, which has its own network, and the rest of East Africa, and then Southern Africa put together. The East and Central Africa, that means the Great Lake and East Africa, put up what we call East and Central Africa Bean Research Network. That is a research of 10 countries in East and Central Africa, coming together, working with the value chain actors in different countries, all the way from Ethiopia to Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, Madagascar, now Sudan and South Sudan, and Uganda too. And then we have also Southern Africa region, which is more or less, I can say, aligned to the sub-regional organization called Southern Africa Bean Research Network. So together, 1996, with the support of hosted by Uganda, and then also supported by three major donors, which was Canadian, and then Swiss, and then USAID, decided together to see how PABRA can be established. So rather than having isolated networks, they come together and form the Pan-African Bean Research Alliance. But we still have these two networks which are strong, which are linked to the countries. And then recently we were joined by West Africa, which is the region which CORAF works in. So together we have a three network which works on beans research, and our aim together, because I say it's not just researchers, but it's the entire value chain. We are looking for increasing bean production, That means you really have to get the right variety, the right product. Bean productivity, because the farmer needs production, better productivity. And then we're also looking on commercialization. I'm sure all of you eat beans. Beans is such a very superfood. I'm sure even students eat beans.
Yes,
I don't know
I
how
love beans.
regularly they eat beans.
I love beans.
All right. Yeah. So we're also looking on that commercialization. And once you do commercialization, that means somebody eats. We're also looking on nutrition components. And all the commercialization and nutrition incentivize the farmer to also continuously get new variety, new technology, because they're interested because of incentive for the household consumption, as well as also getting cash. So our aim is to see how increase production and productivity, and then commercialization and consumption.
Amazing. Why do you
so-
think?
Right. In that process, we develop a new variety because climate is beating us. So we need to see how we are in the front, we are at the head of the game of climate. So we develop variety which are climate resilient. That means either they are short duration because the rainfall has been reduced, but also disease and pest tolerance because climate comes with the disease and pest. We also have a variety with the better marketability. That means they are very tasty to the consumer. The consumer can decide I'm paying this because it has a better taste. A yellow round or a yellow long, or it can be red mottle. If you are Tanzanian, maybe you have a variety called rose coco, you have kipapi or kablanketi, you have several types of beans depending on the consumption. And then these varieties also, they are good for the consumer. Recently we have the variety with the iron and zinc. So and then you have also technologies which support the variety, because the farmer, that it's not just the seed alone. The seed must be in good soil. The seed must be taken care till the consumer gets it. Post-harvest management or even pre-harvest management, all that is put together. And that's what we provide. So we provide advisory services, we provide varieties, we provide information, innovative partnership for the value chain actors to take advantage and move them forward. So in a brief, that's what I've been awarded. PABRA has been awarded because they're able to develop a number of varieties, about 650 varieties, and some of them, as I said, they're highly nutritious, better nutrition, climate resilience, and these varieties have been able to be accessible by around 37 million smallholder farmers.
37 million smallholder farmers
in the last
in
25
Africa.
years.
Amazing.
So-
You've answered my why PABRA has come on top up from all the nominations towards the Africa Food Prize. But now I have another why. Why beans?
How? Beans maybe because beans is so contagious. If I tell you why beans, I'm sure immediately there's no other crop you're going to farm or to eat, or food crop you're going to eat.
Please indulge me briefly.
All right. Okay, right. Yeah, beans. Why beans? Beans, first of all, is such a delicious food. Very delicious, very tasty, highly nutritious. Is a major source of proteins, plant proteins. Know that people, even those who afford other proteins, they still come back to beans. And there is a number of people who cannot afford even others, so they rely on beans as a major food. For instance, in Rwanda, Burundi, Eastern DRC, part of Kenya, part of Uganda, South Uganda, Western Kenya, Tanzania. In Rwanda, the consumption goes up to around 150 grams, between 100 and 150 grams per day.
And that's per person.
Per person, per capita. So because it goes around 30 kilograms per year.
So it's a very important staple in Africa.
And then that's one. Number two, beans, as they also go very well with other dishes. So if you eat chapati, I hope you know chapati, you eat rice. I don't know which is your favorite dish.
I like, that simple rice and beans with an avocado.
So if that's the best. So there are other people also, beans and ugali, beans and chapati.
Yeah.
So it really goes with the several other dishes. And it binds and it looks very fantastic. And in addition to that, in the farms, beans are very accommodative. You can do beans intercrop. So you plant your maize, your avocado you talked about. In between you plant beans.
Amazing. So it's great for regenerative
Regenerative agriculture. Again, in addition, you can use your land better. And
Crop
beans
diversification.
They don't
Amazing.
compete.
I
And
love
we have
beans.
now beans with the 65 days, 70 days. So that means I never see something you plant in 65 days, 70 days you harvest.
That's a short
Short
harvest
duration,
cycle.
short duration because of early maturing. And it does not affect the productivity. They still produce. So you can plant one grain, one seed, and you can easily harvest, right? More than 20 to 30 seeds because there are several pods and each pod has different seeds. So that means there's no way even you can go and borrow money, plow $1 or 1 shilling, Kenya shilling or Ugandan shilling or Tanzanian shilling, and then get 30 shillings after 2 months. So it's possible. And that's one. Number three, or number four, beans, the crop residues of beans, they are used for animal feed very well. They integrate with the maize tovers, so that's good for animals too. And in addition, beans as a food, it also, because of fiber, dietary fiber, it can help those who have a challenge of sugar which hike, because if you eat a lot of sugar or beyond what the body can cope, it hikes the sugar. So the sugar in the beans is slowly released, so they can control the sugar. I don't say to control diabetes, but it can help you to the body to release the sugar slowly.
So it's good for the people, for profits, and the planet.
For the planet.
Amazing.
So in addition to that, they don't require high nitrogen levels as many other crops like maize and others. So it's still, and then the most important, the one I love most also, they are very inclusive. Majority of farmers who grow beans, they are women. Almost 70%. And if these women increasing their production and productivity, they sell. The majority in the market, I don't know which market where do you buy beans?
At my local soko, yes.
Have you seen the majority of people who are trading this?
Yeah, it's women.
They are women. So the more you increase the production and productivity, they have more to sell.
Yeah.
So they have better incomes for their children. That's another thing.
And then I love that. I love that. And so now we're speaking beans and how they're good for everybody and the planet. Right. Now Pabra has won 100,000 US dollars. What does that mean? How is that going to transform? How is that going to scale your what you do at Pabra? What does that mean for Pabra? What does this award and cash prize mean for Pabra?
Well, that's a good question. So this is Pabra, as I said, it's multi-institution which puts their resources together in order to increase bean production, productivity, commercialization, nutrition. So this, for a couple of years, we have seen we have a fewer women scientists. And as I say, majority of value chain actors are women. So we're thinking to use these funds to support women to access better education, so that we have women scientists who also, because we have a majority are men, but we're not against the men, but also we see how can be more inclusive in the science level. So this will help us to increase the capacity of young women scientists who want to do their science on beans, and then they can go to universities, and then they can do research with our institutions, and then move forward.
That's very purposeful of you
And then also, we want the second one, if you are able to go outside at the exhibition, there's a Beans is How. Have you been there?
Yes, I've seen it.
So you can see on the other side, there are several bean-based products, which are either pre-cooked beans, that means don't require much energy to cook, they're already done. There are bean porridge, flour to make a porridge. There are several bean noodles. Majority of this emerging industry, they are women entrepreneurs, women who want to make money because they are delivering highly nutritious and convenient food. So again, we also help to increase their skills and knowledge and then optimize their product. I'm actually in a discussion. Yesterday we had a good discussion with Equity Bank. And you can, as I told you, what we do is an ecosystem. It's not just research, it's not just production, it's not just commercialization. It's bring all these actors together through what we call the bean corridor, through my stakeholder platform. It's an ecosystem of beans from research to utilization, or from utilization to research. So we had a discussion with Equity Bank and Equity Foundation to see how they can come in and capitalize this ecosystem for those who need to expand their business, who need input, who need better financial services, and Equity can join in that. And then for us as researchers, we'll be able to bring in better variety, de-risking the farmer, also technical advice, technical assistance, and then there's a very whole food system, because you bring all these actors together, or they come together to deliver the right product, but with the multiple benefit along the value chain.
Wow. So you say it's a PABRA is a member-based organization of over 650 members.
Yeah.
How are they feeling right now that they're all winners?
I can tell you the messages they put across. Thousands, and everybody is excited. It's on the top of the world.
Wow. And now to my last question. Before my last question, how did it feel when you guys were announced to be the winners?
Wow. It was amazing. When His Excellency Kikwete called, we got excited. We congratulated each other. We sent that message. Wow, we have been waiting for too long. Actually, this should have happened because Pablo had done a good job even quite some time. So everybody got excited. We are still excited. We are still dancing. You can see how smiling I am. So it has been a very, very rewarding because that's a journey which we have undertaken for some time. But I think, again, being recognized as really, first of all, as a Pabra, as you said, but more importantly, as the beans. Beans is a crop people say, what do you know in beans? Leave it there. But now, I think people are starting to notice the power of this crop.
Yes.
For nutrition, for better nutrition, for incomes, for inclusivity, for soil fertility, for better cropping systems, for better food systems. So it offers what is needed to, so now I think recognizing beans as a crop, it's very, very important. Not just all many other big cereals, but beans as well. Yeah.
Amazing. What would you advise a woman or a young person in the agricultural ecosystem or the agricultural food system of Africa, especially one that was one of the nominees to the Africa Food Prize? That means they're already doing something great. What would you advise them?
I can advise them to remain focused, to keep on doing things which are very useful to other people, and remain focused, and then open to partnership, because you cannot do it alone. Remain focused, be person with the partnership, looking ahead, and do something useful, but also don't be left and right. And really, that's very important, and I think for the young generation. And I'm not saying go to beans, but there are several other things we need, which are complementary, but remaining focused, because this is almost 40 years I've been working on beans.
Wow.
So I have remained focused, and it has helped. This prize, again, will put us in a good position, and I think I can advise somebody to do that too.
Amazing. You said something very useful, that this prize will put you in a better position or a useful position. What are the opportunities that have been emerging? It's been one day, but definitely we are at a convening. So what are the opportunities that have emerged since you've been since Pabra has been awarded or announced as the winner of the Africa Food Prize for 2023?
Right. Yeah, there are several opportunities. Some of them we've been able to interact with many, as I said, like Equity Bank yesterday. We've been able to interact with other donors, value chain actors, feel energized, feel that yes, we're in the right direction. So really, I got several congratulations messages on behalf of Pabra. And it's going to energize everybody in the value chain, but at the same time also, those who supported us, several donors have been I was also with somebody who is a Tanzanian who has done a great job called Dr. Madata. Out of the 49 varieties released here in Tanzania, she has half of them came from her.
Oh, wow.
She's around maybe 8 now. She still breed more. She's based in Uyole. So again, also even her, she was energized. I wish one day you should interview her and see how great she is.
Hopefully we
yeah.
will in the future.
Yeah.
Can we see the award?
Yeah.
It's on its way.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your
Thank you
time,
too.
Jean-Claude.